In the heart of ancient Jerusalem, where golden sunlight bathed the magnificent palace, sat King Solomon, a ruler whose wisdom was said to be a gift from the divine. He possessed wealth beyond imagination and commanded armies that made empires tremble. Yet, a shadow often danced in the corners of his mind, a disquiet that all his power and riches could not soothe. One evening, gazing at the setting sun painting the sky in hues of orange and purple, he felt a profound emptiness. He summoned his most trusted advisor, Benaiah, a man whose loyalty was as strong as the city walls. "Benaiah," the king began, his voice a low hum, "I am a powerful man, but my heart is a pendulum swinging between pride in times of victory and despair in times of defeat. I desire a ring, one that can temper my spirit. When I am filled with joy, it must bring me back to earth. When I am drowning in sorrow, it must lift my spirits. Find me such a ring, and you shall be rewarded handsomely." Benaiah bowed, his mind racing. A ring with such magical properties? He had traveled far and wide, but had never heard of such a thing. Yet, to question the king was unthinkable. "Your Majesty, I shall find this ring, though it may be the greatest challenge of my life." His quest began in the grand bazaars of Jerusalem. The air was thick with the scent of exotic spices, the sound of merchants haggling, and the vibrant colors of silks and jewels. He spoke to renowned goldsmiths, their shops gleaming with treasures that could buy kingdoms. They showed him rings with sapphires as deep as the sea and diamonds that shone like stars, but none held the power the king sought. They offered him rings with intricate engravings and ancient blessings, but Benaiah knew these were not the answer. Disheartened, he left the bustling city behind, his hope beginning to wane. Days turned into weeks. Benaiah ventured into the forgotten alleyways and dusty corners of the kingdom, places where the city's opulence gave way to humble simplicity. He spoke to mystics, scholars, and wanderers, but his search was fruitless. The weight of his promise to the king grew heavier with each passing day. He felt like a failure, a servant unable to fulfill a simple request from his master. The task felt impossible, a riddle without an answer. One sweltering afternoon, exhausted and close to giving up, he found himself in a desolate part of the city, a place the wealthy and powerful never tread. He stumbled upon a small, ramshackle jeweler shop, tucked away from the main thoroughfares. An old man with a face etched with the lines of a long life sat hunched over a workbench, his hands, though wrinkled, moving with a practiced grace. Benaiah, with little hope left, described his quest. "I seek a ring for the king," he said, his voice weary. "A ring that can make a happy man sad, and a sad man happy." The old jeweler listened patiently, a knowing glimmer in his ancient eyes. He didn't laugh or scoff. He simply picked up a simple, unadorned silver band. Taking a small engraving tool, he carefully etched 4 Hebrew letters onto the inside of the ring. He then handed it to Benaiah. "This," the old man said softly, "is the ring you seek." Benaiah was skeptical. A plain silver band? How could this simple object hold such profound power? He examined the inscription, Gam Zewe'ava. "What does this mean?" he asked. The old jeweler smiled. "It means, this too shall pass." A wave of understanding washed over Benaiah. The simplicity of the message, its profound truth, struck him with the force of a revelation. He felt a surge of gratitude and relief. He paid the old man far more than he asked, and rushed back to the palace, his heart light for the first time in weeks. He presented the ring to King Solomon, who was in the midst of a grand celebration, his court filled with laughter and music. Solomon took the ring, his brow furrowed in curiosity. "Is this the magical ring you promised, Benaiah?" It looked so simple. He looked at the inscription, reading the words aloud, "This too shall pass." Silence fell over the court. The king's smile faded, replaced by a look of deep contemplation. The music, the laughter, the triumphant cheers, all of it, one day, would be gone. The victory he celebrated was fleeting. In that moment, his arrogance vanished, replaced by a quiet humility. He understood. Years later, the kingdom faced a great famine. The crops failed, and despair gripped the land. King Solomon, his heart heavy with the suffering of his people, felt the cold weight of the silver ring on his finger. He looked down at it, his eyes tracing the familiar letters. "This too shall pass." A flicker of hope ignited within him. The hardship, the sorrow, the despair, it was not permanent. Just as his greatest joys had been temporary, so too would be this time of immense suffering. The simple words gave him the strength to lead his people through the darkness, to find solutions, and to hold on to hope until the rains returned and the land flourished once more. The ring became Solomon's most prized possession, not for its material value, but for its eternal wisdom. It was a constant reminder that life is a river of constant change. No moment, whether of supreme joy or profound sorrow, lasts forever. It taught him to appreciate the good times without being consumed by pride, and to endure the bad times with the knowledge that they would eventually end. And so, the wisest king on earth learned his greatest lesson not from a sacred text or a divine vision, but from 4 simple words on a silver ring. Thank you for watching. Remember to reflect on this wisdom in your own life, and if you enjoyed this story, please like and subscribe for more.